In this video, I'm going to show you a nice, easy way to add conditional formatting to your reports. Now, conditional formatting is really the ability to apply different styles or formats depending on your data or some other value. And we're going to do this using expressions. So to get started, I've already created a report called format.rdl, and you can pick any report that you want that you have created because the concepts are exactly the same. And in this report, let me just preview this real quick and show you what I have. It's simply the product category and products with the list price. And I've added some interactive sorting just so we could see the effect of our conditional formatting a little bit later. And you can see there's 7 pages, and towards the bottom of the page I just add the total and then the page number. So you should be familiar with this report if you've watched other videos leading up to this point in this series. So what I want to do is add some conditional formatting to the list price. So if the list price is over, let's say, $3,000, let's go ahead and make that text red. And then I'm going to show you how to highlight an entire row using a similar formatting technique. Let's go ahead and tackle the first problem. If the list price is over $3,000, I want that text to show in red and not black. And the way we add conditional formatting is, again, to use an expression. And we can use expressions in place of properties. So if we look at the properties of this particular list price field, you can see this text box. You can see we have properties such as the border color, the border style, the border width, and so on and so forth. We could actually add an expression and change any of these programmatically, really, and have the expression evaluated and changed. So what I want to do is add an expression for color. So right now the color is black, and let's say if I change it to red, you can see that that now changes it to red. But what I want to do is make that conditional depending on a value. So the way we do that is we simply drop down the color property here, and we click on expression, and now we have the expression editor. So in order to apply some logic to that, we can go to the common functions section over here on the bottom, and we have this program flow category, and we can use the if function. And if you're familiar with, if you've Microsoft Excel functions or even Visual Studio.net, Visual Basic.net functions, this will be familiar to you. But it's a simple if where we're going to evaluate a expression, and then we're going to have a value if it's true and a value if the expression is false. Okay, so the expression that we want to evaluate is we want to know if the list price, and I'm simply going to go to the fields that are available in my data set, list price, double click that, and you can see what was added to my expression. So we have this IIF, open parentheses, and then we need to supply our arguments. So the first one is the expression that we want to evaluate. So is list price, is it greater than, let's say, 3,000? And if I enter in a comma, you can see now I need to enter in the value if that is true. And if it's true, then I want this property to be set as red. And if it's false, then I'm simply going to apply another constant and set it as black. Now, one of the things that's nice, if you don't know what constants are available, you can click on this constants and you can see all the different values that I could specify for either red or black. And that's all you have to do. So if you click OK, now the color attribute, instead of just a simple red or black as we had before, it's going to evaluate this expression and then be either red or black depending on whether the value of the list price is greater than 3,000. So let's hit preview. And let's look at our report. Let me close the properties window here. And I think if we just sort it, you can see now everything over 3,000 is indeed red. Pretty nice. Now let's do something else, and let's actually highlight an entire row. So we're going to do the same thing, except this time we're going to select the row, our details row, and then I'm going to look at the properties for that. So you can see that I've selected table row 2 and properties. Now I could pick any one of these. I could pick the border width, and I can evaluate an expression just like I did before and change that. But this time I'm going to change the background color. So right now it's transparent, but I want it to be highlighted in green if the list price is less than $500, let's say. So I can get to the expression editor by just clicking on that down arrow and clicking expression, and let's leave that transparent there because I'm going to need it. And then I can either go to my common functions, program flow, and use my if again, and then I'm going to open parentheses, and I want to evaluate an expression that's going to evaluate as true or false. And the expression that's going to evaluate as true or false is my list price. Is it less than $500? And that's my expression. Now the next argument is if it's less than $500, what do I want to do? I want to set that value to some other color. Let's say maybe a light green. How about a lime, or how about light green? So if I double click on light green, you can see it puts that constant inside of my argument. And then I can simply use transparent also. And that's it. And then I close my parentheses, and that expression is complete. So if I click OK, you can see that in my properties window, instead of the background color just being a color that I specified as in transparent, I now have this expression that's going to be evaluated, and it's going to change depending on the value of my list price in this case. So if I click preview, now you can see that the rows where the list price is less than $500, it is green, and the ones where it's not less than $500, it's transparent. And my other formatting still is in place, my other conditional formatting of the list price over $3,000. So a couple of really nice things, and really the takeaway from that is that you can use your expressions to conditionally set the properties for any of the report items on your report. This concludes this video.
You're watching another great instructional video from Trainingspot.com, your IT training destination.